Hello Internet, and welcome to another episode of Tesla Life Unboxing. This is episode 6, and as promised, this episode is dedicated to controls. To control elements, differences between two cars. A used Model S, which is I have from 2013, and the new Model 3, which we just acquired recently. So the major thing you will notice right away would be the two screens on the Model S and X available, and on the one screen on the horizontal layout for Model 3. So of course there are two options for navigation on Model S. You will have Garmin-based navigation on the smaller screen on behind the wheel, and Google-based navigation synchronized with that on the major screen. On Model 3 you just got one, but it is very convenient to actually look, unless Tesla in the future got projected navigation to the windshield like many cars do right now. That is very convenient to get that information behind the wheel and see actually where you're going and how many meters and so on you have to turn. Okay, so now let's look on the door-based controls on Model S. The controls on the window setup is also here on the classic car on the panel, and you can select between the two left and right mirrors. Also the windows going up and down, window lock. Everything is pretty much standard, so Model S in that regard is very similar to any car which we see on the road today. There is no significant differences in elements, and as you can see, most of them are coming from Mercedes-Benz. I think in CLK 500 series got exactly the same controls for the driving, steering on the wheel as well. This is assistance for the voice. This is the menu which you're gonna click, and you will see different things which are gonna change on that particular screen behind the steering wheel, and then using the wheel you can control those. But right now, as you can see, I can go up and down, and that will change the temperature, which is pretty good use for winter season. On this side there is a volume on the music, and also track forward and track backward. So the wiper controls are over here. On Model 3 those are not located on the steering wheel, those are located on the screen. But for sometimes when you drive and you want to change it immediately without taking your eyes from the road, that solution is actually better in my mind. Also the navigation is over here, the AUTOPILOT and all the other stuff. This car does not have AUTOPILOT, just standard cruise control, but the controls are standard again, like a Mercedes-Benz. So nothing new here. On the new Model 3 you control the speed using either touch on the screen or rotating this wheel up and down. That will change the speed of the cruise control. This is Model 3 again. As you can see right now, to open the door you just have to press the button. The controls on the windows are on this side. There is no controls for the mirrors. The mirror is controlled from the settings. So this is the main difference, because the Model 3 is major interfaces is around how you control this thing from the screen. So you click on the mirrors and it tells you that you can adjust mirrors by using this wheel over here on this side, and that will take the control of the right mirror on the left mirror. You also have automatic mirror tilt and fold listed over here. The same is true for the steering wheel. You can again control it from here. There is no standard latch here like the control when you press, and you can control the wheel, the height and how it is protruded back and forth. Again, this is all done from here. That's the main difference. The vents, the ventilation vents are again controllable like that, standard. You move them manually. This is physical movement. There is no electronic control. Up and down, and there is 4 of them on the front, and there is 1 on the back. This is Model 3 again. You can control the power and how the actual directions of where the vents are going. Or you can combine them together to one and just move one around, and that will be directing the airflow to you. That's only related to the upper side of the car. If you go and want to heat up your legs, for example, there are predefined controls here which you can set up. On Model S and Model 3 you just press on that LED and it's gonna show up the light. The mirrors here would not have lights. The new Model S will have lights, and also Model 3 got light here as well. Depends on your configuration. You might have the sunroof on the Model S, which unfortunately not available on Model 3. And of course there are controls which you can put either on a steering wheel, so you can get that here and say I want to control sunroof, and then you can go and say open, and you will use that to open the sunroof. right? So I'm opening 45% right now. As you can see, sunroof is open. If I turn up the other way, it will close. So for summer, in that regard, this is very useful as well. So the flexibility of the controls on this particular side of the panel, controlling these knobs here on this side of the steering wheel, is very useful on Model S. Unfortunately, this is not a convenience which you can get for Model 3 in terms of the sunroof and some other controls. But the beauty of Model 3 is that all these things which are used on the knobs, they are content driven. So it depends on what menu you are in, these things will do different options and different functions. This is Model 3 again. Window lock, as you can see, is also over here. So we can enable that. This is the quick controls setup. The camera is right now is disabled. Like I said here, it doesn't work correctly. I have some footage already shot by this front camera in the mode of the Dashcam. So this is how it looks. It's not that bad. It's actually very good even at low light. So, but again, the format of the drive, you have to really press this thing and hold it. So it will go in and actually stop recording before you exit the car. The easiest fix would be to actually unmount that drive immediately once the car is in the parking position. So that will prevent the data corruption and disk corruption of the USB drive. And once you start the drive again, the disk will be mounted and the dashcam option will be available again. So hopefully Tesla will fix that in the next release, and we will not have issues with the dashcam because this is very, very convenient. I have reformatted that drive, so I have to just insert it over here, open this up and put it for recording right there. Okay, it will read it out and the camera should appear and it's immediately start recording. This is good and not so good. As you can see, camera icon is right here and it's a red dot, so it is recording. So you have to stop it, you have to press and hold and then it will go in and stop. See, right now it's not recording, no red dot, but it's no X either, so that means the camera is right now safe. But in general, once you're out of the car and you're getting home, for example, and you're just stepping out of the car, it's not always convenient just to go in and stop that camera over here. So like I said, it's going to be much easier if the camera will automatically stop when the car is in the parking mode. That will prevent all the issues which we currently have with this dashcam. Also, the display is the same, like the control of the brightness exactly the same. The difference would be if you have sounds, like if you go to the sound right now and click on the equalizer here, there is an option for additional DJ commentary and explicit content, which you have option to use on the streaming services, and also allow mobile control. Then you actually select the navigation through the Tesla Maps or from the Apple Maps or Google Maps, and then you do send it over to destination of your car, and that navigation route will appear on that screen and will be available for Tesla to navigate to, which is very good. You can prepare your routes while you're not in the car, and once you actually got into the car, the route will be ready for you to go. Actual driving experience, this is the only control you have across the actual drive. You can press it down twice and that will engage autopilot. Then you will see that wheel over here, and if the car sees the lanes on both sides, the wheel will appear here and that will allow you to see that autopilot is now available. Again, on the low speeds and on the city traffic, I would not recommend using it much. This is mostly right now for highways, but hopefully very soon it will be available when the autopilot would recognize red lights and stop signs and everything like that. Then you will be able to use that pretty much in autopilot mode anytime you drive this car. So the other things from a settings perspective, the autopilot controls as well. You can control the distance on this thing. You can also control it here, just knocking it left or right. That will increase or decrease this number. Auto steer right now is in the beta, but it's still working fine. The limit speed and all this stuff, you can control it here. This is new, the lane departure warning, automatic emergency braking, that was here before. Very good option actually. Result of recent recommendation of Tesla, I implemented pin to drive. So now when you press on the brake, the car will not turn on automatically. It will ask you to enter the pin, which is additional security measure recommended by Tesla. So it's not enough anymore to actually get a key, the key fob, but you also need to know the pin. However, this option is actually not mandatory, so you can enable it or don't use it. It's really up to you. my recommendation is to use it. Lock control, this is where the whole thing becomes very different. As you can see, keys are configured right now with my phone, my wife's iPhone, and 2 key cards which we have. If we're gonna have to add the key fob, which you can now optionally buy from Tesla and configure it to work with your Model 3, you can add them here on the keys. Just press that plus button and that will add it. The child lock and window lock is also reported here as well. Glove box compartment opening. On Tesla Model S, that's a physical button. On Tesla Model 3 is not. This is all control from here. Guys, so that's it for this episode. It's a quick episode about controls and control differences between the two cars, Model 3 and Model S. So if you have questions, please put them in the comments down below and I will do my best to answer those. Also, if you're interested to see any specific topic on the control level on 2 cars, put them in the comments down below and I will shoot another episode combining all these answers for you in one of the upcoming videos. Again, thank you for staying with me till the end. If you don't like this video, you know what to do, but if you do like it, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and stay tuned for more videos. Make sure that subscribe and notification bell is clicked as well, so you will be notified when the next video will be released. So that's it for this episode. Until next technical review, we'll see you soon. Peace.